Kocosports.com is proud to present Wrestle AM. That's right, it's half wrestling show, half morning show, pretty much all BS. You got the Coco crew here holding it down live. First of all, you got me, yours truly here, the sexiest man on all of Internet Wrestling Radio. That's right, Boom Boom here shaking the room live from beautiful Omaha, Nebraska. And of course, joining me is mi amigo, my brother from another mother, way there across the pond there in Tokyo, Japan. No shit. Talking about Dave Kokotis. What is up, Dave?
Nothing much, nothing much. As always, we ask the same question at the beginning of every show. Please, down in the comments, put win, loss, or tie, what you thought about Raw. We will try to get to your comments, and if we don't get to your comments, we will be doing a Stump the Idiot to catch up. So please put your comments down below. Please put win, loss, tie, and why. Booms, I'm going to go with WWE did it again. Shitty pay-per-view, decent Raw following it. I was impressed with this Raw. It wasn't the best of Raws, but it was a win. It was a win. So I think a well-deserved needed win as far as it goes, but I'm giving it a win. Booms, what's your call? Win, loss, or tie?
You know what? I'm gonna give it a weak win. I thought about doing a strong tie, but you know what? I think I'll be generous and give it a weak win. So it would be like an A-, almost a B+, kind of deals. There was a lot of good stuff in there, but there was some bad stuff to start off with, and it kind of drug at a few points, and then they kind of picked it back up. Dave, I think the reason why I'm actually expecting WWE, I can't believe I'm saying this, to be good for the next month, because from what I've read on the interwebs is that SummerSlam is 75% booked. They've already got, this is including the matches and the finishes that they want. And what the creative team is doing now is working backwards. So basically, they've got Z done. Today we started at A, and now we're going to get all the way to Z at SummerSlam, which to me, from a writing standpoint, I think that makes the most sense. As someone who writes and produces shows on a daily basis, you at least have to have an idea of where you're going, what you want to do, and how you want to do it. Now, granted, there are things that happen. You don't get things that you always want, or sometimes things happen that are unexpected, and you got to adjust on the fly. But if you at least go in with the game plan of, okay, here's where I'm at, but here's where I want to go, and then work it from there, you're going to be all right. I don't think WWE does that a lot, but they're doing it in this case. And tonight, they put on a pretty good show. So that's how I came to that conclusion. But hey, Internet Infantry, what did you think? Please let us know down here in the comments. Well, Dave, do you want to, just go ahead and start off the review, or you got anything else you want to say here?
No, let's just break down the review. Let's just break it down. I just want to try to get to more comments, so please put your comments down below. All right, Booms, let's break it down.
All right. Of course, it started out with Triple H. He was actually mocking the fans about, I'll do a tweet, I'll do a Vine, an Instagram if I don't get my way. Oh, I might riot. I kind of like this going into it. It seems like something a bad guy would really do, and mocking the fans, at least this day and age. Then he was trying to name, the whole theme for the show was he wanted to name a new #1 contender for John Cena's title at SummerSlam, but he hadn't made up his mind. And you know what? He wanted people to impress him, to which Randy Orton immediately came out and said that, you know what, he made a point, which is what I like. He made a point that, you know what, he was promised a one-on-one match for the title at WrestleMania. He never got that. He got thrown out 3-way, and he's never really had a one-on-one since. However, Kane comes out and says, you know what, I'm tired of babysitting. And then Roman Reigns comes out, and then he says, you know what, if you're going to be talking about the world title, you got to be talking about me, and nobody wants to see John Cena versus Kane, and nobody wants to see John Cena versus Randy Orton again. I like how he said again. But so you got to put Triple H immediately named a handicap match, Randy Orton versus Kane. I'll say this: they did a lot here with Reigns. For those of you who are like, let's go ahead and make him the champion now, I'm like, no. Let's hold off just a little bit longer. I think this is the perfect WrestleMania project, to be honest. I think with the way Roman Reigns is progressing, notice how he wrestled a little bit longer of a match. Now, granted, it was against two guys, two veterans. He did just a little bit more time on the mic, not much, but just a little bit. And I'm thinking if he keeps progressing like this, I think by WrestleMania 31 he'll be more than ready by then. So this match itself, I wasn't absolutely thrilled about it, but they put Roman Reigns in a situation where he could succeed, and I only wish they would do that with more of their superstars. I wish they would set them up for success rather than failure. Dave, what was your impression of the opener and the opening match?
Well, I'm going to go all over the place on this. The opener wasn't bad, but my whole thing is, I don't know if people... this bothers me because I used to do riot control. I used to be in riots. I've been at sporting events that turned into riots. I've been to third world country where riots happen. You need to stop saying, LOL, we're going to complain online. Because let me tell you something. WWE, what would you do if there was a legit riot? You already had a problem with security in CM Punk. You obviously can't control it. ECW used to do the same thing, but as soon as they started throwing chairs in, you turned into bitches. IPW did it in Florida, and there was a legit riot in the crowd, and you turned into bitches. What are you going to fucking do if there was a riot? All I'm saying is, if you've never been in a riot, maybe you should stop rooting for one. That's all I'm saying. Because my whole thing is, what do you do? What do you do, WWE? You have passionate fans that go absolutely crazy. I dare you to do that in a country that fucking doesn't mind rioting. Go ahead. Do that in Brazil. Go for it. See what happens. I don't understand. Like, I see all these, especially, like, teenage girls on Facebook. Like, you're just going to complain online. Really? What the fuck do you expect the fans to do? Do you really expect there to be a riot? And when there is a riot, what the fuck, I don't know. It's kind of one of those weird things that I just don't understand why the fuck you would do that. And you left CM Punk out there to fucking defend himself. Yeah, no one remembers that, do you? So fucking here's an idea. Why not protect your talent and put on a good damn show and not be like that? And then here's the whole thing, too. The number one contender thing, I'm glad they teased it and changed it around because, the poster gave away the spoiler. So considering that the spoiler was already out, I thought they did a good job of hiding it. But here's the thing. Triple H, it's easy to be a heel. It really is. Booms, I'm going to be a heel. You're fucking fat, I'll fuck your girlfriend, and your mother fucking smells like a skunk. Oh, I'm a heel. But the problem is, when you were a heel, Triple H, and you were champion, you were supposed to be hated. The problem you have now is you have no fucking heroes. We hate your heroes more than your bad guys. So you can be like, oh, it's best for business. Okay, what's best for business? That your fucking bad guy is going to get cheered more than the guy you built up for fucking 10 years? Is that what's best for business? Booms, is that what's best for business? I don't fucking get it. And Triple H has become the new pro wrestling fan. And that's why I question if there's really even pro wrestling fans. You go on Facebook, you go on Twitter, and you make fun of passionate wrestling fans. What other places like that? What other places like that? What other entertainment? What other sport is there that does that? I just get confused by the theory. And my whole thing is, Triple H, if you want to cut heel promos, have a heel champ. But just like TNA a couple months ago, before Kurt Angle, and just before Kurt Angle, where is the fucking hero? Where? All right, yay, I'm cool. I can pick on my fan base. Oh, why ain't you subscribing to my network? We're going to have to cut Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. How about, if you're going to cut heel promos, the guy is actually a fucking heel. No, better yet, where the fuck are the heroes? Where are the heroes? Where are the heroes? Booms?
Well, I guess you could say you weren't a very good fan of it there. Let's see, everybody, the Internet Infantry, your comments are pouring in. Flying Hippo gives it a borderline win. Alex the Sauce Boss gives it a win. Trey Beeman gives it a win. Amber Leith, this is a great comment. No Cena? Can't be a loss, can it? It's great. BGC Fan 17 says, I say win. Wow, Franielli, win. Mr. the King, win. So, hey, guys, keep your comments coming in here. Next segment here, after, by the way, Roman Reigns got that win, in case I did not mention that. Next, they announced a 4-on-1 handicap match. It was to be Nikki Bella versus Alicia Fox versus Rosa Mendez versus Cameron versus Ava Marie. Hey, when are they going to add Alicia Fox to the cast of Total Divas? I'm just saying. Anyway, before the match itself was not really the highlight. It was what happened before. Brie was was right there at ringside in the audience for her sister. Stephanie came out and said that, the whole reason this is happening is because of your sister. She's a quitter. And then, don't even feign that surprise. And then Stephanie got up in Brie's face. Brie called her a bitch, then called her a vindictive bitch. Stephanie slapped her. Brie, who had a ticket, by the way, tried to hop the guardrail, but Stephanie had security haul her off, and then they started the match. All four divas piled up on Nikki. They set her up for Alicia Fox's axe handle kick. Beautiful, by the way. Those nice long legs. Anyway, sorry, getting sidetracked there. That match ended in just over a minute. Now, normally I would probably kind of rip on something like this, but this does come into play a little bit later. So, for those of you who have, I'm not going to spoil it for people who haven't seen Raw, because I know we have some members of the internet infantry that who watch this show specifically to find out if Raw is worth watching or not. So, Dave, without spoiling anything, wink, could you, do you think that this segment itself, where the match actually played second hand to the actual storyline, do you think this segment here accomplished what they set out to do?
I think so. I guess we're holding back to when the segment actually happens. But yeah, it was a short match. It's continuing the storyline. It's good. But the most important thing is, if you go to Kocosports.com, the experts of Kocosports.com, David Cooey, I'm looking at you, you fucking Hawaiian bastard. The experts, hear me out, put up a nipple slip. So that's the way Kocosports covered it. It moved the story along. All right, why was the segment that far away from the match?
No, it was just right up there on it. I mean, I'm just saying that the match itself was just kind of secondary. It was just kind of a formality to get the whole cast of characters out there. They're continuing this feud. Basically, Stephanie is still upset at Brie for quitting and then slapping her at the Payback pay-per-view. And then when Nikki invited her sister backstage, Stephanie got pissed off and then decided to take out all her frustrations on Brie on Nikki. And I guess the plot is to drive her to quit. So she keeps putting her in these impossible odds and saying, hey, it's all your sister's fault. Well, her sister shows up with ticket, and Stephanie can't resist the chance to go out there and rub it in her face a little bit. So they start jawing back and forth. She hits Brie and then has her hauled out. The rest of the divas beat the crap out of Nikki, and then without spoiling things, they're like, wow, this is really starting to heat up here. But we got to move on here to the next match. This was not really a good. I liked it. I just was a little confused by it. You had Bo Dallas come out, and then Damian Sandow came out this time wearing a LeBron James jersey, scratching out Miami and putting Cleveland in below it. They actually had a match that went more than a minute, which I'm impressed in that aspect. But what really confused me is Damian Sandow, obviously a heel. Bo Dallas, supposed to be a heel that thinks he's a face. And I think the booking's a little confusing because they want you to boo Bo Dallas, but they brought out Damian Sandow of all heels and had him go with the cheap heat gimmick. Hey, cheap heat, we're in the heat. You get it? Okay.
You're all week. Make sure to tip the waitress.
Yeah, thank you. Try the veal. But they had them. They went back and forth. I mean, the whole crowd. They just didn't have. They really didn't know who to cheer for. I guess it was kind of like Bo Dallas by default because Damian Sandow was really healing it up in Miami. So he won with the running Bodog, did his victory lap 16, and Bo did not give an inspirational speech, which I felt ripped off because I wanted to go, hey, buddy, you come out here in all these jerseys and costumes, but don't worry. You'll find who you are, really are, Damian Sandow. You'll find out that you're a good person. You just gotta believe. I think that would have been perfect, but it did not work. But Dave, I mean, Bo Dallas aside, we both agree that we like Bo Dallas. Well, maybe not me as much as you do, but I don't know. Actually, I don't think anybody likes Bo Dallas as much as you do. But that aside, someone who used to book wrestling matches. Would you do something like this as a booker? Would you put two people that you definitely want booed in a match with each other and just have the crowd kind of like, well, I kind of want to boo them both, but I guess I want to boo one more than the other because he's being a bigger dick?
It depends. But most time, heel versus heel doesn't work. But where this might work is that Bo Dallas doesn't believe he's a heel. So this might work better than heel versus heel. And trust me, I booked heel versus heel, and holy shit, does that kill a crowd. And not only that, but heel versus heel, the wrestlers are in it. But I think Bo Dallas could eat it up. I think Bo Dallas is popular enough. I'm just disappointed that Bo Dallas didn't go with the Miami Heat. I thought he could have said, "Don't worry, you lost the best player of this generation, but you might not be in last place if you believe," or something along those lines. Because Miami fans are really sensitive about the Heat. So I thought that's the route he would go. Because then, you're kind of teasing Bo Dallas being a face, but then he cuts that promo and you're like, what a dick. So, I don't know. If heel versus heel is usually a cardinal sin, but if one of the heels thinks he's a good guy, it might work. Plus, Bo Dallas is starting to get a little bit popular. So he might be a face. Who fucking knows in this generation of WWE? But overall, I think someone in the internet inventory said this. No Cena, mid-card Mania equaled Great Raw. So I think this just kicked off mid-card Mania. I love mid-card Mania. That's a good name for the show. Mid-card Mania. All right, we got some live comments here from Facebook. Jason Rex says, has WWE forgotten wrestling that has caused riots in the past? Hogan turning heel almost caused a riot. Dave, you're my hero. Thank you. That's from Jason Rex. And Jerry, our editor, says, Japan is not across the pond from us. Stop saying it, boom, boom, LOL. And then he said, bring back Scott Hall. He knew how to take care of riding fans by stumping their domes. Yeah. So, there you go. Bam.
Go home, Jerry. You're drunk.
All right. You want to go live comments? Or you want to keep this ball rolling?
Let's keep it rolling, but I'll throw in some comments here. Javier almost gives it a tie. Andy Paps, hey, he's back, kids. He gives it a weak win, but hey, it's a win nonetheless. Let's see. You know what? Let's just save it around for. Okay, wait a minute. I've just got to read this because this is the funniest fucking comment of the night. This is by Fran Yelly. Nobody's going to top a comment as funny as this. So I think this is in regards to the Bella twins or Stephanie McMahon. But anyway, he says, and I quote, "Those are titties that need mastering. They should have brought in Dean Ambrose to solve that problem."
Yeah, they had.
Right, kids, you cannot top that comment tonight. Nope, don't even try. You kid, no. Fran Yelly wins the interwebs tonight.
If you're a fan of nipple slips, Kocosports.com's David Cooey is on top of that story. We can't get David Cooey to cover anything. David Cooey literally lives in Japan, and he will not cover Japanese wrestling or anything. But you're like, hey, David Cooey, you're behind. You got to post stories. Come on, Cooey. He's like, yeah, I'll get to it. Whoa, there's a nipple slip. Top priority breaking news. Fuck you, David Cooey.
There you go.
All right.
Next you were supposed to have the highlight reel, but this is like something that, like when I first saw it, I was just like, you got to be kidding me. These guys just had a match last night at Battleground, and now Bray Wyatt is going to be the guest on the highlight reel. I was like, what's to stop him from beating the shit? Oh, wait a minute. That's exactly what happened. Bray Wyatt just tracked him down the locker room, went into his private locker room, beat the crap out of him, hit Sister Abigail in a locker, dropped Jericho, and then he just walked out there and did the highlight reel with the Wyatt family. And I got to say this. I was like, dude, this makes sense. It was like, it's a stupid move on Jericho's part, and yeah, he paid the idiot tax in the locker room. He got popped really, really bad. Like, they had him down. They had, like, R-Truth and Zack Ryder, like, tending to him and a referee, and, Jericho's bleeding from the ear. It's like, oh, my God, are you okay? Does this hurt? Does this hurt? And meanwhile, there's old Bray Wyatt just, delivering his little speech in the ring, saying, and I think he needed to have this kind of speech going, you know what? Yeah, I lost, but, one battle doesn't mean anything to me. Basically, he's talking about, the bigger picture, the war, if you will. And it's like, okay, this kind of puts things in perspective. And he talked about, in his first year, just his first year, he's destroyed monsters. He's brought down giants, and he's brought heroes to their knees. He's like, I'm the eater of worlds. I'm every bit the monster you think I am. And I was like, wow, he really needed to have this kind of promo, and he really needed to save face. As I was saying like the other night, he really needed some kind of big win, something to get some momentum and to get his feet back up under him. So maybe this is the start of something good, and maybe this will be the start of maybe a win at SummerSlam, because this is like Summer WrestleMania. Maybe WWE will actually pretend to give a shit and then give him a win. But Dave, what did you think about so-called
Not
like the
so fast,
realism?
my fellow friends. Me and you agree on a lot. Like Layla has a banging body. Me and you agree on
Yes,
a
we
lot
do.
like John Cena. You know what? I'm about to lose a lot of internet street cred. Don't give a fuck about Bray Wyatt. Don't give a shit. Fuck
Well,
you,
you
Bray
send your
Wyatt.
hate
I
mail
want
today
Husky Harris.
at,
I'm not
Kocosports.com.
chanting. I am not chanting Husky Harris to be insulting. I'm chanting Husky Harris because back then you could fucking wrestle. All right? The whole, I don't have to fucking win the whole world. Go fuck yourself, dude. You have to fucking win eventually. I know you're probably going to win at SummerSlam, but you know what? I don't fucking care. I don't. I want to care. I'm like, well, because think of the fucking feuds. Okay, Kane. Oh, don't worry. He's a great wrestler. He wrestles great as Husky Harris. He'll turn it around. John Cena. Oh, fuck. He's not going to win at WrestleMania. Don't worry. He's going to get it. You know what? I'm not even worried anymore. Go fuck yourself, Bray Wyatt. There. Do you cut a great promo? Yeah. But who gives a shit? It's like Little Penny. That's what the fuck you are. Anyone know old Nike commercials? You're Little fucking Penny. You're like, oh, I'm the fucking greatest, but you're really just a fucking puppet. All right? Penny Hardaway is the one fucking scoring the baskets. Husky Harris is the one fucking putting on the good matches. You're just a fucking puppet. Look at me. I'm great. Fuck you, Little Penny. Fuck you, Little Penny. There. Unless you start fucking winning and actually putting on good goddamn matches, I wash my hands of you. Oh, is he the next fucking Undertaker? The Undertaker fucking won. Is he the next fucking big star? The big fucking star wins. You know what? Can you cut a good promo? Yes, you can. Can you put on a good match? I have no fucking idea. None. None whatsoever. Oh, look at me. I'm fucking a fat guy who can do yoga. Go fuck yourself. You know what? And I know I'm losing internet popularity. I know about getting the internet interest turning against me. But you know what? I go to you, Bray Wyatt, and I say, prove yourself, asshole, because you haven't done anything except fucking cut good promos. Might as well fucking be Albert Del Rio. There, I said it. There.
That's staying. That's staying.
Until this fat motherfucker who can do yoga does something, I don't give a fuck how great his promos and entrances are. You have to actually fucking do something in a storyline and do something in the ring to be fucking me going, wow, you're the fucking greatest. You know what? And I'm tired of it. Every time fucking Bray Wyatt has a match, I'm like, oh, man, they're using him wrong. Oh, they're fucking not having a good match. Oh, he's going to get... You know what? I'm fucking tired of making excuses. Fuck you. Get the whole world in your hands and put on a good goddamn match and fucking start winning. Now, granted, the winning, you really can't control that. But you can control fucking having a good match. All right, we get it. You can do fucking yoga and you can cut a promo. So can my fucking mistress, but that doesn't mean she should be WWE superstar. Sorry, dude.
Turning heel. Dave Kocosports just hit the internet infantry with a chair from behind. Joined the Authority. He's now officially playing B. Oh, vicious there, Dave Kocosports.
I just we kiss his ass.
Well, let me ask you this. Well, what did you think at least about the realism part? You know, I mean, you had to be like me when you saw the, coming up now, a special guest on the highlight reel, it's going to be Bray Wyatt. And I'm like, that's fucking stupid. They just had a match. Why does he just beat the shit? And then all of a sudden, boom, back in the locker room. Well, Chris Jericho got the shit beat out of him. I'm like, that makes sense.
Fandango got over with Chris Jericho. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Next year we had a match. Well, this match here actually wound up being, I think this was the sleeper match of the night. This came out of nowhere, and it really rocked the house. I think this was match of the night. You had the newly crowned Intercontinental Champion, The Miz, versus Dolph Ziggler, the very last man that The Miz eliminated to win that title last night in the Battle Royal. I was like, oh, God, no, because I was thinking, okay, there goes the internet title right there. It's going to get put on Miz, and no. Shockingly, wow, they wound up putting on a good match. Now, the middle of the match was kind of like weird. It kind of drug a little bit, but they started out pretty good. It drug in the middle, but they finished strong, and to me, that's all that matters. They had a nice, good back and forth. You had the crowd chanting, "This is awesome." And, Dave, I'm noticing something here. Did you ever notice when they have, like, two wrestlers that can somewhat wrestle, and they actually let them wrestle and have near falls, the whole crowd just gets sucked into it, and they start chanting like, how you would want them to. You get positive reactions. I know, it's crazy. I wish WWE would. In fact, I will tell you what. I've got some fucking Post-it notes, WWE. Fucking Post-it notes. I will mail this to you. This whole, whatever I've got left of all these Post-it notes, I will mail it to you. Along with, here, I got a pen too. I'll mail these two to you. And I want you to write down on this, hey, well, such and such had a match, good reaction. And then you can stick it anywhere. You can stick it on your desk, on your laptop, put it in your car, anywhere. And that reminder can always be with you. So, Dave, should I go ahead and send him this some sticky notes here and a pen?
It doesn't matter. They'll just shrug their shoulders and say it's just wrestling. I actually thought they were teasing the Attitude Era a little bit here, going a little controversial for a PG-type show. Obviously not going full Attitude, but at least being a little bit controversial. And the matches, they kind of gave us the mid-carders that we wanted, so it was kind of very interesting. But you're talking about Miz and Ziggler, right?
Right.
Dude, if Ziggler almost beat your 2 weeks as champ, if he wins next Monday, are you going to come on and apologize to Ziggler Nation?
Yeah, I will totally do that. If he can get a win next week and get a 2-week winning streak, I said the over-under, I put his winning streak at 2 weeks, and I took the under. So if he wins next week, yes, I will apologize to the Ziggler Nation right here on WrestleAM.
Yeah, I enjoyed the match a lot. I enjoyed the story a lot, and I'm glad our internet champion won. So, to me, maybe, I don't know, maybe match of the night. It was really interesting. The fans got into it, so I enjoyed it a lot. So hopefully this is what the mid-card / future main event scene looks like. I like the ending. I mean, there's a lot of near falls. It looked like Miz was finally going to win with a skull-crushing finale, but Ziggler weaseled out of it, hit the zigzag on him, got the 1, 2, 3, and I mean, I was fucking shocked. I was just like, wow, maybe they are going to try to do something with Dolph Ziggler. I mean, that's 2 wins in a month, which is really good for him, especially on Raw. All right, I just got a comment. The guy, Jason Rex, who said I was a hero, he said what I said about Wyatt made me cry a little. I thought you were my hero. Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo. And as they say in Batman, you either die a hero or podcast long enough to become the villain. So I think that's what they said, right? That's the exact quote from Batman.
You either live long enough to see yourself, you either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Yes, that is
I just had podcasting. I was the hero to begin with this show, and then now the internet imagery's turning on.
Yes, you are now the villain. You are the clear-cut heel.
Sorry,
and
dude.
I'm the save you all.
If I wanted to see a fat person do yoga that could cut a promo, I'd visit my ex-girlfriend. Do something.
A fat person that can do yoga, are you starting to work out, Dave?
No, I said my ex-girlfriend. My ex-girlfriend, she put on a few pounds. She couldn't handle the breakup.
Okay.
I wish that was...
Okay, this is going nowhere. This is like a Raw segment.
No, I'm hoping you to bring up the next match. Like, when I'm starting to make really bad comedy. I'm like dying on stage. Like, I'm getting my ass whooped. I'm reaching for the tag. And, like, as I'm reaching, Boom's like, I wonder where this is going. Like, tag me, motherfucker! I'm dying out here. I'm dying.
Next, we had a Divas tag team match. You had the champion AJ Lee teaming up with Paige to take on the tandem of Emma and Natalya. Match itself was nothing special, but just like the previous Divas segment, this wound up being what happened afterwards. Wound up being the what wound up being the story. Now the tag team match itself was pretty basic. AJ in there, then tagged in Paige. Paige gets caught in the sharpshooter with Natalya, but Paige reaches up, tags in AJ. AJ hits the Shining Wizard on Natalya, then locks on the Black Widow submission for the win. Paige and AJ are all excited. Paige raises AJ's hands. They're kind of going around, and then boom, hits her with a clothesline. Hits her, drags her to the outside, keeps throwing her into the security railing, then throws her face first into the steel ring post, and throws her over the top of the commentary table, and keeps saying, "This is my house." And I'm like, here we go, finally. First, I'll give AJ props. I mean, she sold that shit. Normally, the problems I have with these beatings is they go on too long and they just don't look realistic. AJ, this was about the right length, by the way, but AJ really sold it. It looked pretty, even though it's not the worst beating I've ever seen somebody take, but it looked pretty damn bad. And I'm kind of disappointed. I've got mixed emotions. I'm kind of glad that they're going to have these two square off with each other. Now they're switching roles now, where AJ is going to be the face and Paige is going to be the heel. I kind of hate that WWE just kind of bailed out on Paige like they did. But let me ask you this, Dave. Do you think, aside from this tag match, which I don't think anybody really wants to talk about, let's just talk about this angle here. Do you think Paige will do better as a heel now that AJ's back?
I'm gonna put on my wrestling theory cap, my conspiracy theory / wrestling theory cap. I think WWE wants Paige to fail. I don't even think they want to put effort into it. I just think this is somewhat of a good match going into SummerSlam. I do not think they want Paige to succeed. Look how the announce team puts it over. They don't even give a shit. The announce team is either the worst announce team ever, or they're on purpose ruining this feud. I've never seen it. On the pay-per-view, the announce team fucked up the feud, and on Monday Night Raw, they fucked up the feud. I am under, I got my conspiracy cap on. I think they want to see Paige fail. I don't think they want to see Paige succeed. This is by far some of the worst announcing in WWE.
Now, a couple of points on that one. Is one, to their defense, commentary pretty much sucked the entire night. They gave away all kinds of finishes with the Zack Ryder Miz match. It's like, oh, it's over. No, it's not. And, it's okay if you do that once in like a main event to try to build up the drama. But when you do it every time there's a major move and a pinfall, it's like, fuck you. Why don't you just say, hey, he's about to kick out? Because that's what happens every time. In fact, I think I'd be more impressed if they go, oh, it's over. Oh, there's the 3 count. Told you we were right. I think I'd be more shocked if that actually happened at this point. So to blame commentary now, and JBL did try to sell it. See, I told you. I told you, they're not friends. She's tired of pretending. I can see that. But also, I got to ask you, Dave, on the point here that they want Paige to fail, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, is what does WWE gain by making somebody like Paige, somebody they've been training, that they signed, trained, brought up, put in matches, what does WWE gain by making that person fail?
Nothing, but it hasn't stopped them before. They don't give a shit about the product. I know this sounds crazy, but they're a monopoly. If Paige is amazing and she succeeds, and they don't like her, they can just fucking get rid of her, put her to the back, and no one gives a shit. It is a very, very political, ugly scene, and that's why you need a WCW. That's why you need TNA to be super successful. If TNA was as successful as WCW, Dolph Ziggler would be main eventing. If they were just, it's the case. When you don't have any legit competition, and you're gonna fucking do whatever. I mean, really, you know when these guys are gonna get pushes? In September, when they have to renew the stuff. The network is literally their competition. They're like, oh, contracts are up? Oh, fuck, let's put on a good show. But during the Monday Night Wars, they had to put on a good show every fucking Monday. So yeah, basically, if you don't like someone, you can ruin their fucking career because you don't have to worry about them going to ECW or WCW and grabbing ratings. Because basically TNA grabbed everybody and their ratings never went up. So what the fuck does it matter? But I know if they had a legit competition, which sadly their legit competition is their failing network, if they had legit competition, a lot of stuff would be changed. Now, I could be completely wrong. They could just be horrible at their job. But if that's the case, not JBL, but Michael Cole and the King really have to go to her and apologize. Because, yeah, they messed up a lot. But to mess up that big in 48 hours to the same people, I don't know. I don't. It's kind of like, someone fucks up and you fucking eat shit twice in 48 hours. You're kind of like, guys, do you not fucking like me? Do you not do your fucking job? And even if I was AJ, I would step in and say something. I don't. It's such an ass-kissing environment. They won't. But someone, Triple H, someone needs to step in and go, hey, guys, the fans like these two divas. This could be a great feud. How about you actually put it the fuck over? If not, just bring NXT. Because one thing I love about NXT, good, bad, or indifferent, NXT goes up and down a lot. Their commentary team really puts over the talent. And I think it's time to do the switch. I know Michael Cole used to be the worst thing in the world, then he improved. Now I just think he nailed it in. He's the worst thing in the world. And Jared King Lawler, out of respect, I won't say how shitty you are. I'll just think it very loudly.
Oh, by the way, I made Javier almost mad, so I apologize, Javier. He says, shut up, the big thing in this match was Emma. Okay, I apologize. I still like Emma. It's good to see her back on Raw. So, yeah, there you go. No hard feelings. Cool. Okay, next here. Okay, this match. Okay, here's a bit of a shocker for tonight. You had Fandango versus Zack Ryder. Summer Rae and Layla, hell yeah, accompanied Zack Ryder. This match didn't go long. It didn't even go 2 minutes. It ended. Ryder hit the Rough Rider on Fandango. Referee was going for the 3 count. Fandango had put his boot up on the bottom rope, but Layla had pushed it off. Referee didn't see it, so he got the 3 count. So, woo, 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 you know it. And I should also mention here that, and this is actually brought to my attention by Goro from the Internet Infantry, he says Zack Ryder won his first singles match on I think he's saying that this is his first win in a singles match on Raw since December 18th, 2012. We may have to go to the fact checkers on that one, but that sounds about right.
Yeah, good for Zack Ryder. I'm really happy for him. Yeah, I enjoyed this match. I enjoyed the storyline, and it felt good. I don't know why. It's just, I'm not a huge Zack Ryder. I know James Legend is probably crying with tears of joy.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with Zack Ryder.
Oh, no, trust me. James Legend is the type of guy who will drop everything if Zack Ryder said, hey, dude, come help me. Okay. I'm leaving. I'm hitting the road. I'm going to be at Zack. But no, I don't know. I'm happy for Zack Ryder. I'm happy for this storyline. I'm just happy for everything. And I'm not a huge Zack Ryder fan, but in FCW, they tell the wrestlers this. Oh, get yourself over and it will pay off. And WWE has proved that's not true. Zack Ryder got himself over, and hard work didn't equal anything. So, you know what? Zack Ryder might not be the best wrestler in the world, but there's something about someone who busts his ass being rewarded. I don't know. Maybe it's the old school American dream that still lives deep, deep in my dark, dark heart. But I really enjoy the fact that Zack Ryder got a win. Hopefully this leads to something else. It probably won't. It's Fandango losing and two women are the main focal point of the show. But it was just great to see him again. And, you know, I'm going to say something that's absolutely crazy, but I believe it. So it's one of those things. It's like, it might be crazy. WWE wouldn't be on YouTube, WWE wouldn't have Twitter, Facebook, and probably wouldn't have the network. And if they did, it would be way behind than where it's at if it wasn't for Zack Ryder's success online. So I think, you know, I think there's a lot of people that should never be fired. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, one of them. But I think Zack Ryder should have a spot in WWE forever. He made them a lot of money. And he was the pioneer. You know how Vince is like, well, we're a social media giant. I didn't know. Zack Ryder did that. You thought social media was a fucking joke until you saw Zack Ryder's success and the crowd reaction. And now it is basically your future blueprint for your business success. But, you know, hard work. That's why I've said this before, I hate being a star. I hate being a star with all my fucking heart. Am I against bullying? Of course. But there's no fucking way WWE should be the one passing that message. All right, go ahead.
All right. Next here is the Flo Rida concert or performance. I really don't have anything to say about it. I don't know why they did this, to be honest. To me, it was just kind of out of nowhere. They did it just because, well, hey, it's in Miami. We like Flo Rida. Flo Rida likes us, so let's bring them out to do a song or two. And I was just waiting for somebody to come out and go, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Conway Twitty. Thank you to the people who got that Family Guy reference.
I don't think, dude, if you're laughing at that reference, you're officially old. Like, I know there's probably 90% of our audience is like, what's going on? And like the old people are laughing their asses off. They're like, we're old. I get it. Yeah, it just has to be Miami, and plus he's done stuff with the troops and all that. But my whole thing is, I don't follow pop culture that closely. I mean, some parts of pop culture, but when it comes to music, music does not interest me at all. Like my iPod has nothing but audiobooks and speeches and history lessons. I remember one time in Japan, another foreigner found my iPod and was like, I was gonna keep it. But I was like, you're such a freaking nerd, you deserve this. Yeah, it was like nothing but economic audiobooks. And so, yeah, I'm not really a music guy, but I did do a little internet inventory poll. I went through all the social medias, and everyone said Flo Rida is really famous in America and kind of a big deal. So I guess that's good for WWE. Plus, he's a Florida guy, and it's in Miami. I just think it's a scratch-your-back type thing. He has done a lot of pay-per-view songs, did do tribute to the troops, and I don't know much about music, but I know the cool internet wrestling thing to do is to bash music and performances. I was okay with it. I'd rather have Flo Rida fucking sing and give us a sample of all his songs than have John Cena cut a promo. Like if there's an option.
Okay. When you put it like that, yeah, you got me sold. It's like either you can have Flo Rida sing a melody, or you can have John Cena cut one promo. I'm like a rhinestone cowboy. Wait a minute, I know he doesn't sing that song. I'm just fucking with you. But yeah, whatever he sings. I don't know. I really don't listen to a lot of music. That whole boat just sailed with me a long fucking time ago. But the big thing that happened is right after his performance, cameras immediately cut to ringside. Two police officers had confronted Stephanie McMahon, and then security tried to intervene, but they said no. They're arresting. They were gonna flash their badges that they were going to, and they started reading Stephanie her rights. Apparently, he kind of put it together that Brie had left out there, called the cops, and the cops showed up, and then for some reason, Brie Bella showed up at ringside, which I think kind of ruined the whole act. But but Stephanie sold it well. The cops sold it well. The WWE agent sold it well. The cameras were up there, in the middle of it. They're listening. It's like, no, you hit her. That's battery. In the state of Florida, that's battery. And they cuffed her. They're taking it. She's complaining. Then she's selling it backstage. She's crying. Like anybody would be if they got arrested. So, so she got hauled off to the pokey. But to me, I like this because, one, for once, the princess finally got her comeuppance. And I know, we kind of, you could talk about, remember when she fired Vicky Guerrero and then she got thrown in the mud or whatever it was they were in. I was hoping that was chocolate pudding. But, Dave was like, oh, no, that's fucking bullshit. Oh, she gets a little mud on her. Oh, that's her comeuppance. No. And I'm like, this one, I like this because it's something a normal person would do. It would make less sense if then Brie just started stalking Stephanie McMahon from Raw to Raw to Raw and threatening her. No, she left, and it made sense within a timely fashion. I mean, like, she called the cops. In about an hour or so, the cops showed back up at the arena. They confront Stephanie McMahon, tell her what she's being charged with, read her rights, handcuff her, take her downtown, and then everybody else there in the backstage acted like, you had the agents trying to, figure out what's going on. You had people getting on the phone with attorneys. You had, okay, we'll come pick you up. We'll get you in and out of there in 5 minutes. We're going to try to make this as quick as we can, and we'll work it out from there. So I like the realism of that. I mean, Bree showing back up and them kind of yelling at each other, I think that was a little much, but I'm not going to take away too many points for that. But I think this segment had a big impact. And I'm interested to see where it goes storyline-wise. We all know it's probably going to wind up with Brie getting her job back, and then I'm hoping maybe some kind of match against Stephanie McMahon. But Dave, I mean, do you share the positive reaction that I had about it? Do you share that?
I do a little bit. This is not my cup of tea, a type of pro wrestling character, but this is where I felt like they're trying to get back to the Attitude Era. They're trying to get back to an era with lots of rules. You know what I mean? They're like, well, we're kind of Attitude. We're going to push the envelope as close as we can, but there's definitely a point where we won't pass. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. The Brie Bella thing was just stupid. Like, if I was booking that, promoting that, whatever, the people in the back have to be upset. Just be like, why the fuck is Brie Bella there? It just took you out of... You're in this fantasy world, and you're like, oh, man, I'm in the zone. Like, why the fuck would Brie Bella be there? You know what I mean? You shouldn't do stuff that takes you out of the zone.
I mean, you could probably argue that she had to be there to identify the person. Like, she's the one who hit me. Maybe you could get away with it if you wanted to push it to that angle, because it could be like, Stephanie McMahon hit me. Who? This shit, she's in a red dress, and she's in this huge arena full of 50,000 people. Okay, I tell you what, if you'll come with us, man, can you pick her out of the crowd? Oh, absolutely. And I think something like that, if they tried to play it like that, I think then it could make sense, because then it would make sense to bring her along, because there's this whole, it's not like a house, and you got to find the one chick wearing the red dress. No, it's an arena of 50,000 people, and it's, okay, there's this woman there, she's wearing red, okay, could you point her out? I think if you did it like that, I think you could play it like that.
And it just takes like 5 seconds of editing. But her just showing up late, she appeared right in the beginning with the cops, that probably would have made a lot more sense. Japan might have had the quote of the year. Japan is a Japanese friend that watches pro wrestling with me, but he had the quote of the year. He just looks at me like legit, like a confused 4-year-old. He just looks at me and goes, I didn't know rich white people got arrested in America. And, I don't think he said it as a joke. I think that was a legit question. And, of course, we have a lot of cop jokes coming in from everywhere. But, all right. Do you want to just read the worst cop joke and then move on?
All right, just one.
All right, just one. It was BS segment. Was unrealistic. The real cops would have tasered, then raped both Stephanie and the Bellas and shot Jerry Lawler and beat several fans for no reason. Ed shot someone's dog, then tossed a flashbang grenade in a fan's face. Cops. They're not the good guys anymore.
I want to see Dave Kokotas be a cop because I think he would just go fucking ape shit.
I don't know. I don't think I'd be a cop. I honestly don't. Like I got one of my degrees is in criminal justice, and I don't know. I'd follow the law, so I'd probably be beaten and off the force in a second. Actually, I trained a lot of cops in hand-to-hand combat in Japan, and spoiler, I fucking despise cops, and my wife finds it funny that 90% of my Japanese male friends are cops. But they don't get mad when I call them their pet pigs. I swear I do, too. And it's so funny because we'll have an argument. We'll change the topic very quick because this could go on all day. But sometimes we'll have an argument because we'll be sitting down, and I'll be like, hey, pet pig. And he's like, don't call me a pet pig. And I'm like, why? And he's like, well, I'm a good cop. I'm one of the good ones. I'm like, does anyone on your force break a law? Yes. Did you arrest them? Well, it's more difficult, and you see the situation. You're my pet pig. Shut the fuck up. You're not a good person. Oh, but the good ones will stop the bad ones. It's gonna happen.
All right.
I believe that. All right, let's get off topic because there's way too many.
Again, and I'm also noticing a theme here. This is the third match. Coming up here is the third match where the match itself was secondary to the storyline. You had this match here between it was Kofi Kingston and Big E teaming up to take on Ryback. Now, I'm going to tell you that there was nothing really special about this match. In fact, it had a really shitty ending. Ryback came off the top rope. Kofi splashed Ryback off the top, but Ryback, he just managed to keep rolling, and he had Kofi rolled up for a 3 count. It just kind of like 1, 2, and you're waiting for the kick out 3, and I'm like, what? That's it? That's it? I was like, that was pointless. Why the hell did you have this match? They drug out the whole Stephanie McMahon thing, and I'm waiting for him to get back into something here to kind of pick up the pace again. And I'm like, no, this is not the perfect time for a breather. This is the worst time for a breather. You need to pick up the pace. And right after the match ended, I mean literally after the match ended, boom, there's Xavier Woods looking like Brother Love, plus 50 points if you know who that is. And all he does is start saying, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You can't move up by shaking hands and playing nice. We got to find purpose. And, we're not going to ask anymore. We're going to take it. Then you just have Kofi Kingston, instead of doing like the logical thing of going, okay, Xavier, what the hell is your deal here? Well, why are you dressed up like that? What the hell are you talking about? What do you say? That's what I'm talking. What are you talking about? And why should we listen to you? Instead, Kofi and Big E are like, yeah. And I'm just like, and all of a sudden, I start getting nervous. I start getting nervous because I'm sensing, my spidey sense is tingling, and it's telling me this is about to be a racially driven storyline. And I'm like, that makes me very uncomfortable because there is a very thin fucking line you have to walk on this one here. And if it goes sour, it's gonna blow up in your face. This is something that can go horribly wrong really quick. I know some people are thinking, well, what about like Nation of Domination? No, Nation of Domination had had a little bit of everything in it. You had blacks, whites, Puerto Ricans, white guys who thought they were black, but not named John Cena. You had all that in there, and and it kind of took a lighter tone after a while, but when you get this, and especially if you make them bad guys, I'm not saying they're going to make them make them bad guys, excuse me, but if they do, I don't want it to be like, okay, they're black, they're angry, they're being healed, so let's boo them. Let's boo the evil black guys. And I'm like, I'm extremely uncomfortable with this. I think this is something, and whoever put this together, I hope to God they know what they're doing, because this, again, this makes me nervous. I just want to picture what the fuck somebody was saying when they put this together. Hey, I got an idea. Let's take Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, and Big E and put them into a faction. Who? those black guys. Oh yeah, those guys. Yeah, they're black. They all know each other, right? Yeah, they're all going to be angry. Yeah, totally. Yeah, let's put them together in a little faction here, kind of like right to censor. I'm like, me. I know I should give it a chance, but just like I said, my spidey sense is tingling. And one question I would like to ask here, and this is particularly goes out to our African American viewers. Are you just as nervous as I am? I mean, I know I'm like fucking super honky here, but this makes me nervous. I mean, how are you, how's the African American community, just speaking, how are you seeing this? Do you see like bad things coming? Is it relax, boom, boom, give it a chance, or no, it'll be just fine? I mean, please tell me, because I really don't know at this point. That really scares me. But Dave, did this not make sense to you? Do you think they should have done it differently, and does it make you nervous?
I'm in between. I'm definitely on the boat of let's see where it goes. I like the fact that they're pushing the envelope. They pushed the envelope with Lana. They pushed the envelope with the arrest. So I like the fact that they're pushing the envelopes. I just worry that they might have a Shelton Benjamin on their hands, where at the end of the storyline, we're gonna be like, wow, WWE is really racist. We didn't really need a storyline to put that over. I'm kind of excited for all three athletes, and I'm kind of excited for pushing the envelope and having legit conversations on wrestling and having people have their thoughts out. But the one I'm scared the most of, and I'm just saying, like, talent-wise, is Kofi Kingston. I don't think Kofi Kingston will ever not be the ultimate good guy face. He reminds me of this generation's Tito Santana or this generation's Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And I don't know if Kofi has what it takes to be in a controversial storyline, heel or face. I just think he's Ricky Dragon Steamboat, Tito Santana, Santino. There's guys where you're just like, oh no, they're good guys for life. And I think Kofi had that. But if it gets Kofi, because he's so athletic and he's such a great wrestler and deserves more, if it gives Kofi a push, I'm very interested. I'm intrigued where it's going to go, but WWE has a really bad track record. It's kind of the same thing with the Japanese athletes.
Especially with minority athletes. Dave, you watch Main Event, you watch Superstars, you watch all these different, shows. You watch a lot more NXT than I do. What is this something new for Xavier Woods, or is this something he's just trying out, or did it just start tonight?
Well, he's normally a positive, look at me, be a star, I'm going to college. That was his thing. But NXT recently, he became like a corporation type guy, and he's like, fuck the environment, and the worst storyline ever. It's a really bad storyline. NXT had some good storylines. The Xavier Woods NXT storyline is horrible. He like literally is a Dr. Seuss character. He wears a suit, and he's like, I don't fucking like the trees! And that's where they went with that. But this is a little bit of a new character. I think they just went with, all right, we'll try him as a Dr. Seuss type bad guy, but he was getting cheered. I have to say, I'm happy for Xavier Woods because he's not stuck in the old, he plays video games and he went to college forever, because that's all they ever talked about. And I'm happy he's not a Dr. Seuss villain, because that's pretty much what he was. And the worst part is, Xavier Woods, he's kind of a good guy too, so people root for him. And he's like, fuck the trees, and NXT kids are like, yeah, I don't like trees either. So it can't be worse than his NXT storyline. I hope this means it's the end of his NXT storyline. But I'm very intrigued and interesting where they go. But yeah, they have to be going somewhere with it.
Yeah, I think they could have done this a little bit better, a little bit differently. You could have had both the Big E and Kofi go to the back and be like, what happened, man? Well, I grabbed a handful of my tights, and then you could have had Xavier Woods step in. It's like, see, that's what I'm talking about. What are you talking about? And then kind of explain it, and then go, you know what? We're not going to get anywhere. You don't have to say flat out say because of our race, but you could say, we're not going to get anywhere by shaking hands and kissing babies. No, we got to take what we want. It's going to be part of the future. If you're interested and you want to come with me, just let me know. And then just have them walk off and have those two like, okay, what the hell is that all about? And have them sell it instead of walking out to the, literally 30 seconds, not even 30 seconds after they lost, boom, Xavier Woods in that ring. That's what I'm talking about. we're going to take what we need from now on. And Big E and Kofi just looked at each other for like 3 seconds and were like, okay. Well, I guess it was just that easy, you know?
Xavier Woods from Jason Rex from Facebook. If you can, check out some comments, booms. Xavier Woods kind of remind me of Slick Rick. So, there he goes. A lot of people in the chat are saying they're going to be heels and all that. I don't know if that's clear yet. I don't know if there are going to be heels. But if they are going to be heels, I can't see people rooting against Kofi. I just can't see it. I mean, I fucking see the guy and I'm like, fucking go, Kofi! You know, so I don't know. If, you know, I don't know, A, if they are going to be heels, and B, I'm really worried about Kofi. But then again, is it better to be in a bad storyline than just be forgotten about? That could be the question of the day. Is it better to be in a bad storyline or just forgotten about? That's really a good question. I don't really have an answer for that. Booms, what do you think? If you're an athlete...
I think it's better to be in a bad storyline because at least you can play the sympathy card. At least you can go, you know, I did what I was told. I was always on there. I did all this crap. I was hoping maybe it would get me somewhere if I could just prove that I was a team player, that I was a company guy, that I was professional. You know, and I really worked my tail off, and I've never got my break. You know, I participated in this crappy storyline. I didn't want to do it, but hey, I had bills I had to pay. You know, you could play the sympathy card, whereas if you're just forgotten about it, it's just like, who?
I just want to say something. Boom Boom is controlling YouTube, and YouTube has a bad reputation for being comments, and I'm checking out Facebook and Google. Dude, some of you guys, really, you need to be hugged more. Some of you need to be hugged more. That's all I'm saying. You guys are some horrible human beings. And usually YouTube has the reputation of the worst commenters. No, Facebook and Google Plus, you're holding your own of horrible comments. Booms, you got anything as far as the comments go?
No, I mean, nothing that we can keep. By the way, friend Yelly, yes, I did know that Brother Love was Undertaker's first manager. Thank you. Because I remember he debuted at Survivor Series 1990, or was it 91? It was 90, or I think it was 91. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, it was 91. So, yeah, I remember when that happened. Let's kind of try to pick this up a little bit. We had Great Khali versus Rusev. Again, the thing that was the story for me was the whole fallout after Battleground. But what they said last night on Battleground, which if you missed it, previously on Wrestle AM, we talked about the angle about, you know, Lana said, no, don't blame us for recent events, you know, don't blame Vladimir Putin, and they did all this thing. Well, they kind of got some heat for that. I know it made the Daily Mail over in the UK. They talked about how they used the downing of the Malaysian jetliner to, you know, get over this angle, and believe it or not, down in the comment section of the Daily Mail, some people kind of came to the rescue going, look, you know, hey, it's entertainment. They didn't directly say it was the Malaysian jet. You know, they're just playing. You know, they're just playing characters. And my personal favorite response to that was from one of my favorite movies, by the way, is "Lighten Up, Francis." So that, and WWE went as far to issue like some kind of apology. And I know that Lana.
Why? Don't apologize, you fucking.
Well, anyway, I was like, I know that, you know, Lana just didn't go out there and do that on her own. I'm pretty sure that, you know, I mean, at least common sense would be like, hey, you know, should I do this? And I'm pretty sure she got the green light. I'm pretty sure somebody knew that what she was doing. In fact, here's what WWE issued after Battleground. And they said, and I quote, last night's segment during WWE's Battleground was in no way referred to the Malaysian Airlines tragedy. The storyline characters Rusev and Lana have been part of WWE programming for more than 3 months. WWE apologized to anyone who misunderstood last night's segment and was offended. Unquote.
Oh, man. Don't fucking apologize. First off, I'm going to try not to go too fucking far. You are going to blame entertainment for World War III. There's people on Twitter and on the social media, World War III by WWE. The media is even fucking pitching that. Really? 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 The news media is going to blame WWE for World War III. No, please, do go on. Unfucking believable. And first off, they never mentioned the jetliner. They never mentioned the jetliner, and there's no fucking way in hell I would have fucking apologized. None. Go fuck yourself. Yeah. Oh, please, CNN. Oh, the Daily fucking Bugle, wherever the fuck you're called in the UK. Please, do go on how WWE is the reason for World War III. Go. Please explain that to me. You fucking pieces of fucking shit. I never fucking apologize. Anyway, fucking, just to get off topic, because, dude, I can go on fucking for 3 fucking hours about that shit.
He will. He will do that.
Suck a dick. There. Let's try to change up the segment. Jerry keeps messaging me every 5 seconds. We did bring back on the blog, Kocosports.com. We did bring back the daily knockouts, and you can read about the Lana situation and see beautiful pictures of her at the same time, because we're classy. So go check out the daily knockout.
We've got a monocle and top hats, and we're going to go pick up our canes.
I just can't believe, dude, don't blame anything for World War fucking 3. Oh, excuse me, here's a fucking mirror. Oh, mainstream media. Hi, how you doing? Oh, it's definitely WWE. I fucking hate the world. There, I fucking said it. Go ahead, Booms.
All right. So with that out of the way, they kept going. They mentioned his defeat of Swagger last night, and then they put him in the ring against the great Khali. Now, on one hand, on paper, this sucked. In practice, it sucked. But I kind of like that they had this match because it was, for one, you had to see Rusev take on somebody who's actually bigger than him. And he eventually, and it was, God, this match was horrible. This match was absolutely fucking horrible. Khali was not selling anything. And he just, when he locked him in the accolade, that camel clutch submission, Khali just kind of sat there. Khali just was like, okay, I'm in the hold. I'm just going to kind of hang out. And he stayed in that lock for like 5 fucking minutes. Well, maybe that's exaggeration. Just sat in there and finally was like, okay, is it time? Yeah, I'm tapping out. Yeah, I'm tapping out. And then Rusev, yeah, I'm the winner. Woo! And there we go.
I actually enjoyed the match. I think Rusev is really good at selling stuff. I don't think people would sell the ankle as much as he did. Poor great Khali. We talked about this in chat. Poor great Khali. He's had to fight 2 undefeated guys 2 weeks in a row. Man, they are not booking him a favorable schedule. He's definitely not making a BCS bowl game. That schedule's way too tough. Last week, Bo Dallas. This week, Rusev. Everyone wants me to mention just that they're building him up for John Cena, and with all this bad press, John Cena will probably beat him quickly. It's a possibility. I'd love to see WWE stick by their guns, but the fact that they gave an apology, it's just sad. It's a sad fucking world we live in. Listen, if you apologize for shit you don't mean to apologize about, it's fucking worthy. I would love to see someone come on and be like, you know what? You want an apology? Go fuck yourself. You should only apologize if you really mean it. Not. Anyway, go to Kocosports.com. You can go check out sexy pictures of Lana and nipple slips.
Yes, I agree. You should do that anyway. Always go to Kocosports.com and visit it at least once a day and click on stuff and ads. You don't have to buy anything. You just got to click on them.
You just push the envelope. Buy a T-shirt. All right, let's go.
Sure. Next here, this was the de facto main event. You had Dean Ambrose versus Cesaro, which, oh yes, excellent. This is something I definitely wanted to see. They kind of tossed us a bone here. Cesaro was doing this in order to impress Triple H because apparently he's no longer a Paul Heyman guy because fuck it, why not? Dean Ambrose is fucking crazy in case we haven't established that yet. And these two had a pretty decent match. They went back and forth. I was really impressed with it. I just kind of hate that the cop-out ending is Ambrose got himself disqualified by clocking Cesaro in the shoulder with the steel chair. I know it fits into his character, and he takes a loss, but overall a good match. And maybe this leads. Maybe this will be the match. No, it won't be the match at SummerSlam. It's got to be Ambrose versus Rollins. But I hope this isn't the last of this match I've seen here. I hope we see a rematch next week where it's no disqualification and they can just keep going because these two together, I want to see more of it. This is fucking money. This is like something if I was playing WWE 2K15, this is like a match I would put together. So check it out. Definitely a good match. I'm really not a big fan of the ending, but Ambrose stayed strong. Cesaro stayed true to his character. Overall, great match. Dave, do you share my sentiments?
I do. There was a little complaints on the internet inventory about, hey, you're not getting a clean finish. I think on a Raw, this is forgivable, especially the fact that they gave everyone looked strong, and it's understandable. It's not like it was a pay-per-view. If this was on a pay-per-view, I think I would rant and rave with the rest of the angry internet infantry, but I enjoyed it. It was a very stiff match, and it's just, man, this could be the future. This could be the future. So I was really excited, and I enjoyed it a lot. So, but though there were some complaining online that, hey, we didn't get a clean finish, but I think that's more understandable on Raw.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, the dumbest thing they could do was, I don't know, have Dean Ambrose thrown out of the building by security and cancel the match and have the other guy win by forfeit. I mean, come on. They would put that together. That's fucking stupid. Wait a minute.
All right.
All right. Then came Triple H's decision. Randy Orton came down to ringside, basically taking the bait of who Triple H was going to pick. He got interrupted by Roman Reigns. They brawled out of the arena, or at least out of the area. Then Paul Heyman came out and said, you know what? Plan A didn't work out. Plan B is a good one, but every time he tries to cash in, Dean Ambrose is in the way. I think it's time to go with Plan C. He brought out
CM Punk returns! CM Punk returns!
Don't do that. This is how rumors get started.
I wonder if there's someone who didn't watch this show and got super excited. Oh, well, actually, I think it's on our title. Oh, well. Go on, folks.
So, Heyman, introduces Brock Lesnar. Triple H kind of smiles, shakes Paul Heyman's hand, shakes Brock Lesnar's hand, and there we've got it. There's your opponent for John Cena at SummerSlam. Heyman delivered the fucking goods, delivered one hell of a fucking promo, and that's how we ended the show with Brock Lesnar with that fucking shit-eating grin, knowing that he's going to be the challenger at SummerSlam. So, overall, pretty decent show.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I give it a slight win. I like the fact that the last promo, they teased Randy Orton. Because, with the poster being out and spoilers being everywhere, I think they had to tease it. I think they did a good job. I think a lot of people were like, oh, what the fuck, Randy Orton? And then, yeah, so I thought for the spoilers being leaked out, and I'm sure that's got to hurt WWE a lot.
No, I think they wanted it to leak out.
What's for us to get used to John Cena being champion?
No, the whole Brock Lesnar John Cena poster, they wanted that to leak out because if they haven't done it yet, then everybody's going to tune in to wait for the official announcement, so the ratings go up with people, wait, because they know Brock Lesnar's going to be the challenger, so, that leaks out, and then, you start watching Raw, and it's going to be him, and you're like, okay, here he comes, yay, it's Brock Lesnar, yeah, and,
True.
People start talking about it, maybe that gins up a few more pay-per-view buys or WWE Network subscriptions.
Yeah, that's true, too. And also, I think it's a double-edged sword. Sometimes leaking out stuff is good because, A, it gets you used to John Cena being champ, so, you're not as fucking angry when he wins the title. And B, it gets people that only watch for Brock because Brock is a pay-per-view king. I don't know if he's still a pay-per-view king, but I imagine he is because WWE keeps re-signing that contract. So, all right. Boom, do you want to go some comments and wrap this bad boy up?
Yeah, let's do some comments here. I'm going to start to the top here and then gradually work my way down. And if you want to get your questions and your comments in now, just go ahead and put them in here in the comments section. If we can't get to them, don't worry. Dave Kocosports will do a solo Stump the Idiot where he'll read anything. He's the Ron Burgundy of Internet Wrestling Radio. If you put it in the comment section, he will read it. You can put random words, maple syrup, spatula, and octopus. He will read it. Just put it up there. He'll read it, and he'll dedicate 6 hours to it. So feel free to put it up there.
You hurt me with the truth, Boobs. Your truthful words hurt. Go ahead.
Let's see here. I'm just going to start here. Let's see. Goro says, I believe that they're building up Rusev for a feud with Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle has stated he will be returning to the WWE after his TNA contract expires in September. Goro, that may be true, but here's the thing. I'm not sure if Kurt Angle can pass a WWE physical. Hulk Hogan couldn't, and he's not wrestling. Kurt Angle's had a broken neck before. He's had some personal problems, and now granted, a lot of this he's overcome, but still, you don't want to set him up for disaster. I would rather Kurt Angle not wrestle and have him still walking 20 years from now than to put him in a match or something and risk him permanently injuring himself. So if he does come back, I think it might just be an on-camera or backstage role, but I don't think he'll actually be back in the ring. I'm not sure if he's even got one match left in him. You know, last thing WWE needs is, think about that. An Olympic gold medalist gets crippled in the ring, can't walk anymore, or has some kind of permanent disability. Yeah, there's some press WWE does not need.
Just two things I want to add to that is, I've been saying this for a while. I even make jokes on Impact Review that Kurt Angle is just being on TNA is an advertisement for Rusev's future opponent. I agree with Boom Boom said, but I also want to just be a little bit of devil's advocate. Ric Flair passed the test. So if Ric Flair can pass the test, I think Kurt Angle can. But we don't know how good the health is. Plus, I think with these drug testing and tests, it's one of those things, it's graded on a curve.
No, I'm not talking drug test. I'm talking physical.
Yeah, I think both are graded on the curve. Like, it's like, oh, he's not going to die? All right, it passes. But I don't know. I could be wrong. But there have been reports that Ric Flair passed the test. And I believe if Ric Flair can pass the test, Kurt Angle can pass it.
I don't think he passed it because otherwise he might be in the ring. They might bring him out for one match.
Madison Square Garden. He was on a house show with the Wyatts. So.
No, he was in the ring. No, he just did an in-ring thing. He wasn't wrestling all that much. But I digress.
All right.
Let's see here. Let's get into this is my stuff I brought up about Xavier Woods, Big E, and Kofi Kingston. I'm going to, there's several comments right here in a row, so please bear with me here. Lacey Walters wrote, right when Xavier started talking, I bowed my head and said, please don't let this be what I think it is. I'm black and I feel really uncomfortable with it because it seems this is going to be a black versus white type feud. I'm going to stay positive and say they're starting the Angry Man faction. So there's a good point right there. How do you know that, instead of like doing The Miz, Zack Ryder, and Dolph Ziggler, they're just going to substitute all those guys for Big E, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods. So there's a great point by Lacey.
I think if that's the case, they definitely have to add Ziggler and, who's the guy dressed up, the smart guy? I can't think of his name right now.
Sandow?
Yeah, Sandow definitely has to be in. Zack Ryder. That's the thing. So I think if they add people to it, it would make a lot more sense with the Angry Man faction.
Yeah, if you get like the Angry Man faction of people who never got a chance to get over, there's half your locker room right there.
Like the Angry Man faction, and then it's Triple H and like 6 dudes high-fiving. They're like, yeah, we'll take down the Angry Man faction. All right, but yeah, it's definitely it's risky. So hopefully they do the right thing, but they don't have a track record of that. Go ahead, Booms.
And then I am Mike Ashman. He says, I laugh at the term of the African-American term America puts on that ethnic background. As a Jamaican, Italian, Canadian born here in Canada, we laugh at those quick pointers to racism. We are all pushed to embrace our culture in Canada, more importantly, Toronto. I'm not offended, however, I am interested on how far they will push the envelope with this faction and angle.
Yeah, because a lot of my friends in St. Pete, they gave up. They just quit. And my whole thing is a lot of people are like, oh, people quit watching and don't come back the next Monday Night Raw. We used to have this big gang of people, and I just remember everyone stood up after Shelton Benjamin lost to Triple H, and like, I'm never watching again. And like 5-10 years later, they still stopped watching it. So you have to be careful because people, you can rub people the wrong way and lose fans.
Then Malik Douglas says, black viewer here. I got kind of nervous too when I saw this. WWE has an awful track record when it comes to things like this, but I think there's a small chance that they'll do something different with this. The fact that people thought that more than 3 black people together equals the new Nation of Domination, oh my God, is kind of bad for the upcoming storyline.
It's a possibility, yeah. It's a possibility. I think it's a little bit bad for the fans to be thinking that, but you have to remember what you're watching in their track record. You know, it's kind of like WWE. You know, it's the same thing with Kenta. It's just, I don't know, maybe they're looking at it going, we have to change the way we do stuff. And hopefully, but that's a big positive way of thinking right there.
All right. Wrestling Ranton says, African American viewer, a faction with these guys is fine, and Nation of Domination was super edgy, but it worked in the end. Kofi needs to get some heel in him. The Nation of Domination was okay when it first started, then it got a little goofy, and then it broke up, and then it made everybody uncomfortable, because remember, you had the Nation versus the Disciple, I think it was the Disciples of Apocalypse, and Los Boricuas. So you had black people beating up Puerto Ricans, beating up white people, and everybody was just like, yeah, okay, so I think I need to go to the concession stand and get some popcorn.
Yeah, D'Lo Brown on many occasions have said he hated that. He's like, he was so happy that he was on television and so happy he was on during the most popular time, but hated the fact that he's connected to that storyline. So yeah, I think what makes people worried is if WWE didn't have such a bad reputation, I don't think there would be as much worried. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. If it didn't have a bad reputation of doing horrible things, I don't think it would be. And Wrestling Ranting, I just want to say, go check out his channel. He works really hard and has to get more views. Wrestling Ranting, please put links to your shows in our shows. You know, he works really hard on his stuff. It's a lot shorter than ours, and he also has video, picture, and stuff. And he's one of the few guys on YouTube I actually really enjoy. I know that sounds very kind of asshole-ish, but he deserves a lot more views than he gets. So please go over there, like, comment, subscribe, part of the internet infantry, and yeah, I really like your stuff, man. Keep it up. Thank you.
All right. Let's see here. Fran Yelly also would like to give a shout-out to Joey Mercury, who made an appearance on Monday Night Raw telling Triple H that the car and everything was ready, and if he'd made a decision. So a little Easter egg there for all of us.
Mania.
Yeah. BGC fan has a question here, but I think we need to save this for Stump the Idiot because I don't think we can cover this tonight. So, all right, BGC fan, we're going to put your question here in Stump the Idiot coming up later this week. It's, who do you guys think will be in next year's Hall of Fame? So that I think that's a good question. So let's, Dave, let's save that one, put that in the Ziploc bag, and we'll ship it on there over to Stump the Idiot. What you say?
All right, sounds good.
Sounds good. Mr. The King says, I do not know why Michael Cole is the main announcer. I feel like JBL actually says good things and Cole gets butthurt and they have arguments and not pay attention to the matches.
Yeah, you hit a home run there. JBL is the only thing worth listening to on that show. If there was an option to mute everyone but JBL, I would. I'd even take the long, awkward pauses over Lawler and Cole talking. And I hated Cole for a long time, but Michael Cole really did make a huge improvement. But now he's right back down in the garbage. He's fucking worthless. And Jared Lawler, you just keep hanging out, dude. He's the old guy on the couch. He's just there. Lawler, fucking stay as long as you want. No, really, you got to get the fuck out of here. Become a manager, Lawler. So.
Jerb Wood said that Sister Abigail, Bray Wyatt hit on Jericho looked terrible. They just should have beat the shit out of him without the finisher. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it was kind of cartoony because he hit him with it and just flung him up against the wall, and Jericho did it like this cartoon thump, slid right down. So I thought it was okay. I don't think it was terrible.
It looked really weak, but Jericho, he sold it pretty damn good. So, and the blood out of the ear was a bit much. I'm like, what? They killed Jericho, you bastards! All right, go ahead.
Travis Moore's got another question. This one gets to go over to Stump the Idiot. Wow. All right. We got 2 already. Travis Moore asked, if you guys were in wrestling, what would you be? Is heels or face? Would we be heels or faces? So, all right. So save that up, Dave. We're going to do that one and Stump the Idiot.
All right. Oh, we can answer that one now. I would definitely be a heel. It's way easier. I'm not very good looking, and you just insult me.
Well, that goes without saying.
Well, that's a factor. No one's going to root for me if I don't look like Randy Orton. Yeah, I would definitely be a heel. It's just a million times easier. Being a face is hard work. I know I bash John Cena because he's fucking horrible, but being a face is way harder. That's why if you're booking any level of wrestling and you have a face that's over, do not change it until he starts getting John Cena heat. Like, I always paid attention. Like, I'm going to just talk about booking here for a second. If you got a face that's over, wait, listen to the crowd and pay attention to the crowd, and when it's about 60% he's over and the other 40% are like, what the fuck? That's when you turn him heel and have a little bit of a longer run. It's kind of just, you gotta feel it. But, yeah, it's way, way, way harder being a face. So I'd just be nice and fucking easy. I'd be El Stinko. No, actually, can I tell one stupid thing, Booms? I would
stop you so far.
Well, I know, but you're getting a little cranky because you're getting tired. I would be Pokemon, M-A-N, and I'd dress up in yellow and be nothing but hype and never fucking wrestle. And then when I did wrestle, I'd become a jobber. And I'd hand out Pokemon cards that would have my statistics, Pokemon, and then I would do the rock thing in the corner and go, Waikiga! Which in Japanese means smelly. It roughly translated means smelly armpits. That's what I would do. But I would hype it up like crazy. Like, I'd be like weeks into it. Like, he's coming, Pokemon! And then just go and become a fucking jobber. I'd be a heel jobber. That's what I would be. But, hey, my arm, I can barely fucking lift, and I broke my back and neck, and I'm not good looking, and, walking serves me. I'm not very athletic anymore. That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm going. I would not be a very good pro wrestler. But if I was, I'd be a masked heel jobber. There you go. I'd be 3MB.
Yeah,
but
I could be either.
Very cocky, very confident.
That's very cocky. I could either have you loving me or I could have you ready to stab me. Either one. I could do it. Next year, Lacey Walters.
Boom sucks. Let's go. Boom, 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 boom sucks. Let's go. Boom, boom. All right, got it. Any more comments?
Next, Lacey Walters says, since when does WWE have good diva storylines? I would almost say this one with the Bellas it's interesting because now that they've gotten Stephanie arrested, I'd like to see where it goes. And then, come on, you can't say that the Paige AJ storyline doesn't have you interested.
And you also got the Fandango girls. I don't know if I'd use the word good just yet, but they're definitely trying. They're definitely trying. They have this storyline.
Yeah, only thing I don't like about the Fandango storyline is it's just so damn stereotypical. It's 2 women, who got wronged by a man, and now it's just like, okay, now we're gonna, throw ourselves all over your opponents and make your life a living hell.
Well, you just described every comedy starring, oh fuck, what's her name? The really cute chubby girl from Charlie's Angels. Fuck.
Drew Barrymore?
Yeah, you just described every Drew Barrymore summer blockbuster for the next 7 years. You gotta be careful, man. Don't give out spoilers. All right, go ahead.
All right, here's another one for Stump the Idiot. Dang, we're up to, well, no, this is 2 now. I know this is, anyway, here's my question for you guys. What are your thoughts on the Macho Man Hall of Fame situation? Okay, let's save that one for Stump the Idiot. Ooh, we're getting plenty of material here. And now I'm getting down towards the bottom, and let's just say, let's end it with Goro here. That horrible Flow Rider segment made my nose bleed, literally. Did you punch yourself in the face, Goro? Shit.
I don't know. I don't know much about music. Like, it's so weird. I just wasn't born with the skill at all. Like, there's very few people I'm like, oh, I'm a fan of. And there's barely anyone I hate. Like, people like Justin Bieber, Flow Rider, Britney Spears, Led Zeppelin. I'm like, dude, it's just music in the background. I'm not a very music guy, so I don't really judge people too harshly. I mean, there are people I like, but at the same time, a lot of times it has to do with the lyrics. You know what I mean? I'm more of a lyric guy. I like Eminem, Tom Petty. I've always loved MC Hammer. Judge me all you want. Will Smith. I love like a lot of weird music. If you ever saw my music selection, you'd be like, you're the weirdest fucking person ever.
But yes, it's got a lot of the same things I've got in there.
What's that?
Got all the same things I've got in my CD case, which I haven't really bought a CD since like 2011.
I don't think I've bought music. You know, once you have Eminem, Sublime, and Will Smith, and Tom Petty, really, do you even need anything else anymore? Dude, I'm done. I got all the music I got.
There you go. But here's another question we need to say for Stump the Idiots from Brandon Maltz. He says, will WWE eventually let a black person be a big champion? They have a racist problem. I think, we could talk about that one for a while, so let's save that for Stump the Idiot. So, Dave, I hope you're writing this shit down.
I'll just read everything when it's my turn to do Stump the Idiot.
Of course, and I tell you what, just do a post show where you just read everything. If it's on the screen, you just read it.
I am not scared, Mister. I got to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. And when I get up and go to work tomorrow, and I get to work and I log in my computer, I'll log on to YouTube, and you'll still be answering questions and comments.
All right, let's. You've been pushing too many Stump the Idiot. Let's do one last question that we will answer here.
Okay, it's from Alex the Sauce Boss. Who would Daniel Bryan face when he comes back? Not Triple H again.
You know, there's a part of me I'm really scared he's not coming back. As someone who's broke their fucking coconut neck and back, when you don't get strength in your arm this late into the game, and granted, maybe a lot of this is kayfabed, but if it is kayfabed, I think that's the one thing that shouldn't. I don't think you should fake injuries in pro wrestling. It's just bad for the product and everything. But if everything's legit, he's not getting arm power in his left arm. That's for right arm. I don't know, one of the arms. That is really bad. I don't know if he's ever coming back. I mean, if what they're telling us is factual, I do have experience of breaking necks and backs. Like, oh, I'm an expert. You want to break your spine? Please, ask away. But when you can't lift your arm, that's a really bad sign. I know that he's going to go into surgery for shoulder and neck. I worry that he'll never wrestle again, and if he does, maybe Kane or maybe someone as like a send-off match. I'm rooting for the guy. I want him to come back, and I want us to be like, Dave, you were completely wrong. But in my experience, people that broke necks and back, when you can't get power in your arm this long after surgery, it's really the odds of...
Well, we haven't heard an update in a while. I mean, the last update we heard was right after his surgery that he was actually losing strength in his arm, and they may have to consider going under a second one. But that was a couple of months ago, so we don't know, what his latest prognosis is.
So I hope he's improving, but that from
we're going off extremely old information, Dave.
That is true,
and to answer your question, Alex, storyline-wise, I know Dave doesn't want to hear it, but storyline-wise, it makes the most sense. His first match needs to be Kane. He needs to go against the guy who, quote-unquote, put him out of action.
Yeah, plus it gives Kane. Plus they're probably really good friends. Probably feels horrible. I don't know. I hate Kane, and I hate this matchup, but I think this is a get-out-of-free-jail card. Just got history storyline-wise. I'm sure I don't know this for a fact just because I don't hang out with them. Breaking news, Dave does not hang out with Daniel Bryan and Kane. But I can imagine they're probably good friends. Because, a lot of matches, a lot of tag team match, working together that long. And I'm sure Kane, there's a part of him that feels horrible. So, you know what? Even though I hate Kane and probably would hate the matchup, I think it would still be a feel-good story if he came back to wrestle Kane. All right, you want to wrap it up?
We got to end it here, bro.
All right.
So I'm going to do that thing that I do so well, and that's I'm going to tell everybody to go to Kocosports.com. That's KOCOsports.com. It's your home for all combat sports. That includes mixed martial arts, boxing, pro wrestling, amateur wrestling, sumo wrestling. If you can get your nose broke doing it, Well, we got it covered there on the site, along with our news and gossip section, Coco's Corner, along there with the Coco blogs. We've even got our very popular video on demand section. It's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at Kocosports.com. It's where the world goes to kick ass.
And also, if you can afford $24.99 and you want to support Fat Guys Yelling at Webcams, please buy one of our shirts. We'd really appreciate it. And we're all working harder for you, for Coco Sports one day, to be your #1 stop for pro wrestling reviews and combat sports news. Booms, I love you. And with that, I am over.